The financial industry has made some strides, but according to many recent studies, women still earn much less than their male coworkers for doing the same jobs. Joining me now is millennial personal finance expert Erin Lowry to touch on how young women can take some steps to secure their financial future. Erin, what are the things that you think young women who are entering the workforce right now can do to advocate for themselves the best?
Well, the first thing is to negotiate. And unfortunately, a lot of us, both men and women, but definitely for women, especially on our first jobs, tend to not even bother negotiating. A lot of times we're just so grateful to have that first job, we don't think about countering an offer. So certainly consider negotiating. And if you can't negotiate on your salary, look at your benefits. Is there any wiggle room there?
How big of a pay gap have you found between young men and young women entering the workforce out of college for the same jobs?
So right now, the studies do say women are making about 81 cents on the dollar, millennial women, compared to millennial men. And the big issue for us there as well is it means it's going to take us longer to reach our financial goals. A big one of those goals for us is, of course, paying off student loan debt, but the other one is investing and saving and building a strong financial future.
You say that women tend to be more aggressive when it comes to paying off their student debt, more aggressive than young men. So why do you think it is that, average speaking, women who are getting paid less are still more aggressive when it comes to paying things off?
Right. So the SoFi Women in Investing survey did find that women on average put about $200 more per month than millennial men towards their student loan debt and are paying it off about 4 months earlier. And it's great to be debt-free. But the problem is a lot of times this is coming at the cost of not investing at the same time as paying off that debt. And part of it is we can understand that. It's easy to understand paying off debt. You see the number, you know what putting more money towards it's going to do to it. And there's definitely an education disconnect when it comes to investing. A lot of both men and women, but it seems more so that it's harming women, are not getting the information that they need in order to feel confident going into the stock market as an investor. And we see this in 56% of women admitted that they were fearful of investing in the market, partly because they didn't understand how it works. And we're also seeing it in terms of how much risk people are willing to take. With 53% of men were willing to invest in the most aggressive plan available to them, and only 38% of women. And that's a big problem when it comes to our overall financial health.
So do you have recommendations for parents who are watching? Because we can say, oh, you have to negotiate, be a tougher negotiator, but that's easier said than done. When a young woman is entering the workforce or in college, should parents be making sure that their kids take financial courses or practice negotiating, and what kinds of conversations can we be having with them?
Practice negotiating is huge. I've done that myself. The idea of role-playing the experience, especially with a parent who has gone through that before, is incredibly helpful. And also get more comfortable talking about money. Even for some people, it's very uncomfortable, but talking to your coworkers about how much they make and having more of an understanding in your particular marketplace how much you're making, and using tools at your disposal like Glassdoor.com and Salary.com, where you can find out approximately what other people in your town, in your city, are making for similar jobs.
That's a really interesting point that you bring up, because I remember growing up as a child, I remember my parents telling me never talk about money and never ask someone what they make. So this is a complete flip from what a lot of our parents might have taught us.
I know, and unfortunately it still is very much a taboo and is uncomfortable for people, but we're not going to break down these barriers unless we have the information. And it's better for the employers for us not to be asking those questions. So people would love to keep up that facade as well.
Millennial personal finance expert Erin Lowry, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
After